Well, here I am again at Famicom Dojo. I know we got a lot of comments last time about how dirty this tester Famicom is. It's actually taped down to that TV. But I would like to say that the ones they actually sell are like pristine. You can't really see that, but here, let's compare it right there. They're great looking. So anyway, they have tons of games here. I mean, these are like the, Super Famicom ones that they have out and priced, and there's some Game Boy Advance and N64, and there's more cartridges down there and over here. But actually, the best ones are the stuff that they haven't priced yet, the stuff that's just come in. That's usually where I find what I'm looking for. I'm just going to kind of go behind the counter here. I found a couple things earlier that I'd like to show you. This is very exciting for me to find. It's not particularly a wanted game, but for me, it's well, I'll tell you more about that later. And I actually saw my first pirate cart. I guess that's why they don't have it out on display. It looks like it has Wildsnake, Super Punch-Out, and NBA Live 95. It's a very strange combination. Okay, let's give this guy a try. Licensed by Nintendo. I don't believe that for a moment. Okay.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Alright. NBA Live 95. I don't know if I actually want to play this. We'll select Milwaukee, just to represent. Okay, but there's no menu or anything. How do I select the other games? Maybe I gotta turn it off and turn it on again. Okay, kids are getting rowdy, so I'm just gonna pick these up and try them out back at home. Okay, the kids are finally asleep. Let's try this again.
Hajimemashite. Super Famicom Dojo yokoso. Jibun no namae wa...
Okay, so this is the creator of Tetris introduces Wildsnake. He didn't make Wildsnake, but he's introducing it, I guess, in the same way Quentin Tarantino introduces a lot of films that he had minimal involvement with, but it's put out by Bulletproof Software, which has an amazingly interesting history when it comes to releasing the original Tetris. They made a documentary about it. It's fantastic. Anyway, whoa. Okay, that's a pretty bold opening for a puzzle game. Okay, so it looks to be the English version of this game. Alright. Putting some snakes down. You gotta match the colors of the snakes, and they'll kind of crawl this way and that. Okay, I haven't gotten any matching colored snakes yet. Okay, I kind of blocked my path there. Okay, you can see when I touch that snake, he, I don't know, eats the other snake? I'm not sure. Oh dear. Whoa. And, yep, it's Tetris with snakes. Let's see if I can get any combos going there. Not really. Okay, Tetris with snakes. It's kind of fun. Let's switch. So yeah, I was right. The way to switch the games is to hit reset or turn the console power on and off, and it's going to cycle through these games. So we've got Punch-Out. That would be the basketball one. Wildsnake. And back to Punch-Out. It's not as elegant as a menu, but I guess it gets the job done. Okay, let's switch over to Punch-Out. This is the one I'm most excited about, Super Punch-Out. I have never played this game in Japan on a Super Famicom, and there's a good reason for that. I'll get to that in a second. Now you'll notice that this looks to be the English version of the game, and I'm not sure. Like, all versions of this game might very well be English. I don't know, because what's interesting is this game was never released on a cartridge for the Super Famicom. Yes, perhaps I should explain that last statement. You see, you could get Super Punch-Out in Japan, although in 1998, several years after it was released in the United States. But the only way you could get it was on one of these cartridges. Not actually on the cartridge. These were blank cartridges. And you would bring them to convenience stores or some kind of kiosk, and you could write games to it. They used to have one at the convenience store when I first moved to Japan, because the service kept up until early 2000s. And that was the only way to get it. Super Punch-Out is not a well-known title here. I think probably more people have played it now that it's been re-released on the Virtual Console than ever played it on the actual Super Famicom, which I find strange, because the original Punch-Out is known as a classic title, and this was not produced by some third party. This was one of Nintendo's main teams who made this game. But when I hooked it up and played it at Famicom Dojo, the people who were watching me play had never actually seen this game before. So anyway, back to it. Yep, totally in English all the way through. It's interesting. I've been in Japan this long, and I never realized that this game was one I've never seen in stores. I guess I just figured it was a rarer title. It wasn't until I did some research that I realized that probably the only way people were getting this game was through pirate carts like this, which don't seem very common either. I've seen lots of Famicom pirate carts over the years, but this is actually the first time I've ever seen a Super Famicom one. So there you have it, my first Super Famicom pirate cart. And it looks different from a real cartridge in that it doesn't have a back label. A real cartridge has the Nintendo logo there, whereas this one's just clear, and it's written in English. I think that might be the same message that's written on a US Super Nintendo game. It isn't, actually. It's actually the message written on a US NES cart. But yeah. What's it say here? Past. Past what? Anyway, that's a pirate game for the Super Famicom.
Famicom Dojo.
Thank you for training at the Famicom Dojo. Please take a look at our other videos and remember to subscribe. Thank you. Okay, let's see the warnings on this. Alright, don't pry open with a screwdriver, that makes sense. Don't use as a canteen, I guess. Don't stare directly into an Apple II. Okay, those seem fairly reasonable. Try this one. Don't attempt to melt with a match. Don't hit with a gavel. Don't... Well, no one wants these to be underwater. Oh, come on. Really? Well, don't do that.